is I, Nick118, aka Lit, whatever you just call me. And today is something very serious. Today it's gonna be three tornadoes in one video. So let's get right to it. So let's start off with this one right here. This tornado right here is one of my most largest tornadoes. Being technically the second largest to date, only beaten by my two 1.62 mile wide tornadoes. This massive destructive tornado would first touch down sort of southwestish from Peshtigo. It would then go a very hard northeast, but then it would shift to a bit more east towards Peshtigo. It would peak at intensity very quickly, as it would have an intensity of 310 miles an hour, which would have gave it EF5, but it didn't. It would get a rating of EF3, 165, which it would slab Peshtigo in the process, and it would slab a very weak structure without anchor bolts completely, which gave this tornado a rating of EF3. There was also debarked trees in the process, and eventually the tornado would weaken, but it would strengthen a little bit, but then it would eventually fully die off. This tornado would last a total of 4.8 miles, peak at a funnel width of 1.61 miles wide, and a funnel width of 3.23 miles wide, making it on the list of my largest tornadoes to date. Now, next up is another tornado, particularly a special tornado. It is an EF5, a rare type tornado, an EF5 tornado, and my first for this month. This tornado, as you can definitely tell, is significantly smaller. It would start at the Keysota State Forest at a weak intensity. However, it would strengthen pretty quickly, as it would peak at 1.09 miles wide with a wind field of 2.55. The tornado would hit an upbound houses with recorded wind speeds exceeding 220 miles an hour. It would get a rating of EF5 220. However, it would eventually get to Alaska and do some significant damage to Alaska. Overall, this tornado would eventually get to Helma and lift, intensify pretty quickly but die. Overall, the tornado would peak at 1.09 miles wide, 2.55 for the wind field, of course, and will last 3.8 miles. This is currently one of many violent tornadoes to date. Now, next up, for the monster of what I experienced so far this month, is this EF3 tornado that would debark trees entirely. The tornado would form southwest of Sylvia. However, Sylvia barely got scratched. Overall, this tornado would have wind speeds recorded to be at least a little over 210 miles an hour, which is not very strong for this tornado. This tornado would be a short-lived but large tornado. This tornado would be a size of 1.62 miles wide, making it tied for first place of the largest tornado I've ever experienced. It would have a wind field of 3.25 miles and would last a total of 2.1 miles, making it one of my shorter-lived tornadoes to date. Not the shortest, but still a rather short-lived tornado. Overall, there would be four other tornadoes, but in which they were more likely weak, at least roughly ranging from EF1 to EF2 intensity, but were not rated. Overall, though, these would occur on separate high risks, with the highest being AK. And after that incident, it would never, it's more likely not gonna occur again. This has been Nick118. Now see you all in the next video. Peace.